doing fine. It's a living life.
Namaste friends, and welcome back to The Way Om Yoga. My name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be guiding you through what I'm calling a body and soul, get it, like sole of the foot, yoga class. So this class is going to be intended to release any tension from the feet and the legs, especially if you've been on your feet today for any extended period amount of time. So today we'll work on not only cultivating strength and mobility, but releasing tension from the lower half of the body as well, okay? For today's practice, the only props that I would recommend grabbing is one or the other, either a yoga block or a bolster cushion. We'll need that for the end of class, okay? But go ahead and gather your things, gather your props, and meet me on the yoga mat. We're gonna start things off by coming into child's pose to begin. And right already off the bat, we're gonna be playing around with, again, just flipping on the tops of the feet, releasing any tension from the lower half of the body. And I wanna invite you, especially if child's pose is one where you really don't find a whole lot of ease for the tops of the feet, I want you to consider either rolling up the bottom edge of your yoga mat for support or taking that bolster cushion and sliding that underneath the tops of the feet. And you can experience child's pose like so. Okay, but we won't be here very long. We're just going to take this opportunity just to tune inward, to focus our awareness on our breath, maybe set an intention for this practice. And start to deepen your breath on your next inhalation through the nose. And exhale. And again, child's pose is always available to you at any point in the practice. You never need permission to take child's pose, okay, friends? All right, so feel free to stay here as long as you need to, but otherwise we're gonna go ahead and transition into our first downward facing dog of the class. So go ahead and unroll your mat. And yeah, let's just make our way there now into down dog. And I want you to consider, as you're coming into your down dog, maybe really exaggerating the bend in one leg. So extending one leg, bending through the other, getting into the backs of the legs, getting into the hamstrings here. And again, our theme is all about releasing tension from the feet, from the legs. Coming back to your breath, friends. Beautiful job. Gorgeous. So any degree of movement here to start. And then from here, my friends, let's go ahead and walk our feet about hip distance apart. We'll walk those hands back, keeping just a slight bend in those legs. And let's come into our first forward fold, letting the head and neck hang heavy here just for a moment. Finding that stretch through the hamstring, through the backs of the legs. Again, releasing any tension here. And on your next inhalation, like links of a chain, we're just gonna roll up nice and slow to standing. Take your time. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and make our way to the front edge of the mat. We're gonna go through one cycle of sun salutation. We're gonna do sun salutation B to begin. So on your next inhalation, let's go ahead and sink it back into our imaginary chair pose here. Now, again, for our theme for today, I want to encourage you, if you'd like to play around with the foot placement here, I want you to come up onto the ball of the right foot here. So that's the inhale. Exhale, let's go ahead and set it down. Let's take the opposite foot this time. So left foot comes up. Good. Exhale, set it down. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale, come up onto the ball of the right foot. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, gorgeous. Stay here for one more inhalation, sinking back perhaps just a centimeter deeper. Exhale, let's meet once again in that forward fold, letting go of any tension here. On your next inhalation, it's halfway lift. Exhale, let's make our way back into our first downward facing dog here, friends. Getting readjusted if needed. Now, you have some options. We're gonna take the vinyasa, and if you'd like today, I want you to play around with flipping onto the tops of the feet, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do that. So let's do this all together. On your next inhalation, let's come forward into plank pose. Exhale, we'll stop halfway here in chaturanga. Now watch this. I'm gonna flip onto my left foot and my right, coming up into upward facing dog. Now from here, as I make my way back into down dog, notice I'm going to flip back onto the balls of my feet. So that's just one way that you can play with it. You can roll onto the tops of the feet if you prefer, but that's something you can play with in your practice, okay? Now from here, we're going to add on your next inhalation, right leg comes up and back for three-legged dog. Exhale, we'll take this over into down dog with the twist. Nice little yawn here for the hips, just opening things up to get started. Yeah, and if you want to roll out that ankle, go for it. Maybe taking them in some small circles in one direction, changing it up and going in the opposite direction. Gorgeous. On your next inhalation, it's three-legged dog. Exhale, let's step that right foot forward. Let's come up through warrior one, shall we? So right foot is forward, back foot is extended at about 45 degrees here. Nice and strong warrior one. So some options, friends. You can either take your hands to your waist, or if you want to play around, grab onto opposite elbows here. And just like we did in chair pose, you may need to shorten your stance just slightly to make this happen. But on your next inhale, let's come up onto the ball of the right foot. We'll set it down. And inhale. Exhale, set it down. Let's just do one more. Inhale. Exhale, set it down. On your next inhalation, let's root to rise up once again, warrior one. Exhale, we'll bring those arms down. And again, yogi's choice, if you want to get that vinyasa, playing around with rolling onto the tops of the feet, you are welcome to do that. Otherwise, just meet us in downward facing dog. Excellent effort, everyone. We've got one more side to complete, okay? So on your next inhale, left leg comes up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, let's take this over into down dog with the twist. Beautiful, and again, same options. If you liked rolling out the ankle, go for it. Beautiful. On your next inhale, it's three-legged dog. Exhale, let's come back into warrior one, this time with the left foot forward. Good. Playing with those same options, either hands to the waist, maybe grabbing onto opposite elbows. And once again, on an inhale, just optional, you can come up onto the ball of the left foot. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, set it down. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Excellent job. Let's root to rise up once again. Yogi's choice. If you want to just come back into down dog, you can. Otherwise, last vinyasa here. Rolling onto those feet, coming back onto the balls of the feet here in downward facing dog. Beautiful job, everyone. Excellent work. Come back to your breath. And once again, let's step the feet about hip distance apart, bending those knees slightly. Let's come back into that forward fold once again. Good. Now we're going to take this a step further here in our forward fold. So options, you could take your two peace fingers, so your middle and index finger, wrapping them around that big toe. Check this out. On an inhale, we'll straighten through the arms, coming up through halfway lift. Exhale, we'll bend at the elbows, so letting those elbows come out to the sides here. And just letting that usher you into a deeper fold here. So getting a little touch also for the inner arches for the feet. Another option you can take, friends, you can slide your wrist. So your the palm of the hand is going to come underneath the foot, and notice that my toes just graze the backs of my wrist here. And once again, you can inhale here. Exhale, bending through those arms, and just using that as leverage to usher you forward into the fold, just slightly deeper. So that's just one way you can experience this as well. Finding a deeper stretch. Beautiful. So whatever option you took, let's go ahead and bring those hands out in front of us once again, and nice and slow. One more time, we'll just roll up to standing. Great job, everybody. So now we're gonna get into a little bit of strength, a little bit of balancing work here in tree pose, okay? So what I'm gonna have you do, I'm gonna mirror you. So we're gonna start by balancing on the right foot to begin. And we're gonna bring that sole of the left foot right up against that right ankle. So this is option one for tree pose. Otherwise, I want you to take your foot either below or above the knee. I have to pick up my foot to make this happen. So notice I'm not placing my foot directly on that knee joint. And then what I'm gonna do from here is either bring my hands to heart center, maybe to my waist. Some of you may wanna grow your branches and challenge yourself here. And you may feel this, right? Like I'm kind of shifting my weight here. I'm lifting through those inner arches. I'm definitely cultivating strength through the ankle. This is really good for my runners out there. Good. Beautiful job. Let's hold for another inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and come out of that. If you need to shake out your feet, shake out the legs. If you want to just roll into the tops of your feet, letting go of any tension. And we'll take that on the opposite side this time. So this time my right foot will come up, either up against that ankle. And again, same options below or above the knee, just not directly on that knee joint. Okay. All right, we'll bring the hands once again at heart center. Maybe some of you want to challenge your balance. And it's okay to fall out of this pose, right? Like trees in the breeze, you can sway a little bit. It's okay to challenge yourself, challenge your balance. For some of you, if this is just really comfortable for you, you can even try closing your eyes or softening the gaze, okay? All right, let's hold for another inhale here. And exhale. One more inhale. Gorgeous. Exhale. Let's come out of that all together, shaking out the feet, shaking out through the legs. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So now we're gonna make our way to a kneeling position, thunderbolt pose. So this is where either having a block or a bolster cushion would be beneficial, but I'm gonna show you first how this is going to look without the prop. So notice I'm coming into a kneeling position here and I'm curling my back toes under. And sometimes I need to get in here and kind of use my hands to shift that pinky toe under myself here. So, like I mentioned, if you need just some added support, you could place either a block underneath the knees, maybe a pillow, maybe a stack of blankets, maybe a bolster if you've got that. And just finding that sensation through the feet, especially if those feet are just really fatigued. Maybe you've been on them for extended periods of time. This is just a nice way to show your feet a little TLC. We won't be here very long, friends, so let's just stay for 2 more cycles of breath together, starting on your next inhale through the nose. And exhale. And inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, let that go. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So from here, we are gonna just simply make our way into Malasana, yogi squat. So if you have, let's say, a block or a bolster, you can bring that right underneath your sitting bones. And I'm just simply gonna step my feet out a little bit wider. Notice that my toes turn out. I'm coming into this yogi squat. And again, this can be done with a block, with a bolster, with a stack of blankets, maybe nothing if that suits you. And my hands are here together at heart center. I'm pressing my arms up against my inner thighs here for leverage, so my spine is nice and long here. So targeting those inner thighs, getting into the legs, the outer hips, and even into the ankle a little bit here as we're squatting in this pose. And of course, like we did at the beginning of class in child's pose, if you find that it's difficult for you to rest comfortably, like your heels on the yoga mat, you can always roll up the bottom edge of your yoga mat and place that underneath your heels for added support, okay? Kind of bringing the ground up a little bit further to you, okay? So that's always an option. Let's come back to our breath though, kind of slow the breath down a little bit, nice and steady, nice and easy. Good work, everyone. Beautiful. Let's stay for 2 more cycles here together, starting on your next inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. So from here, let's make our way back into forward fold. So I'm going to turn my toes together. I'm going to use my hands to pick myself up. And yeah, let's just fold here for a second. If you need to bend those knees deeply, maybe gently sway side to side. If some of you enjoyed taking the big toe grab here, or maybe placing the hands underneath the feet, you're welcome just to get one more little small touch here. okay? Once you've done that though, friends, let's go ahead and roll back up to standing. Again, just like links of a chain, just nice and easy and simple. And I've got one more pose for you guys before I let you all go. So if you have a free wall space, I want to encourage you to make your way there now. If you don't have a free wall space for whatever reason, no worries. You can always grab the seat of a chair and just rest the backs of your legs against the chair for support. But what I'm going to have you do here, friends, we're going to work our way up nice and close to, I'm going to scoot over just a little bit here, nice and close to an open wall space. And all I'm going to do is just simply rest the backs of my legs just passively up against the wall. What I love about this pose as well, it's so good for lymphatic drainage. So that lymphatic drainage, that venous return back to the heart, towards the lymph nodes, this is just so good for that, especially if like the legs are swollen too. I really like to take legs up the wall if my legs are feeling especially fatigued. And you can do this really, friends, up to maybe like 5-10 minutes, just depending on what you're going for. And just be mindful to come out of this one slow if you are going for an extended period of time. You definitely don't want to get dizzy or anything like that. But let's just take a few moments here, friends, just to savor all of that work that we just did, all of that effort. Again, just showing our body some love, some TLC for all of the work it does for us, right? And just slowing down that breath. So I want to invite you, friends, if you would like to take, let's say, Shavasana, so final resting pose from this configuration, or if you have a guided meditation, or if you need a guided meditation, I'll put a link down below for you to check out. But again, you're perfectly primed and ready to close your practice any way that you'd like to. So you can stay here. Otherwise, just gently start to walk those feet down along the wall. And what I like to do, friends, is just roll onto one side here of my body, just cradling my head with one arm and then using my other arm just to help pick me back up. And like I said, I will close off practice with you if this is all the time that you have today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel lighter. I hope you feel freer in your body. I hope you feel like you've just melted away tension from the feet and the legs. If you are enjoying my content, I would love it if you would like and subscribe to the Way Om YouTube channel. It really helps the channel out tremendously. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until next time, namaste.